Welcome to PlayPianoToday.com. Today we're looking at a fantastic concept on the keyboard called straddles. Today we're going to talk about a fantastic concept called straddles. Straddles are a real simple technique to get a lot of sound out of very simple triads. Let's take a look. If you've gone through the original course titled Pattern, Piano, and Keyboard, as found at PlayPianoToday.com, you know that triads, or three-note chords, can be major or they can be minor. In this case, I'm showing you a G major triad or a G minor triad. Let's look at the G major triad for a moment. Consisting of the root, the third, and the fifth, those notes for G major are G, B, and D. Pretty simple, huh? This is called root position because the root, like a tree's roots, are down on the bottom, right? Unless you're on the other side of the planet, then the roots are also on the bottom, which is a paradox. So this is a G major triad in root position because the root is on the bottom. What if we took that root and put it up here on top? You still have G, B, and D. But now this is called first inversion. We're inverting the chord. It's the same notes, but just in a different position. Now, if we take the third, put it up on top, you still have G, B, and D. So you still have a G major triad, or three-note chord, but now it's in second inversion. Root position, first inversion, second inversion. What happens if we kick it up one more time and take that fifth, that D, and put it up on top? Even though I'm an octave higher than originally, the root is still on the bottom, right? So this is still in root position. So I could play that G major triad anywhere on the piano. As long as the G was on the bottom, it's in root position. As long as the B is on the bottom, first inversion. As long as the D is on the bottom, second inversion. So we're taking that G major triad and simply inverting it. Instantly you're moving around on the keyboard. It's a very simple, pretty basic technique that you learn right out of the gate when you're taking piano lessons. You can do the exact same thing with a G. Because this is just a quick overview of this entire lesson, we're going to go ahead and jump ahead in the video to the point where we've already studied how to change all of these chord inversions into chord straddles, and you'll be able to hear what they sound like. All of a sudden, you've got something really musical happening, almost like bells. Here it is in D. Notice my hands have to do a slightly different technique. Let's try it on C minor. Check this out. This is beautiful. All of a sudden, you're thinking about mist and dark nights and some mystery, right? So this is the straddle technique. Now let's jump to the section of the lesson where we're comparing how a song sounds when you use regular chords and then when you use chord straddles. Use this example in a song. This is one of those techniques again. I love giving you examples that are very simple to understand, but they radically change the way you play. Let's take the straddle technique now and play a song with it. To demonstrate this technique, I'm going to use a very simple song that only has three chords: G major, D major, and A minor. Name of the tune is Down in the Valley. It's an old American folk song. It's very simple, but it serves really well to demonstrate the straddle technique. Now, the first time I go through, I'm not going to play the straddle technique. I'll simply play the chords and sing the melody to give you an idea of the structure of the song. And then, for contrast, I'll open it up and use the straddle technique all the way up and down the keyboard to give you an idea how simple, yet how powerful this technique is. Okay, here's the first version, just the chords and the melody. Down in the valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, wind blow. Hang your head over, hear the wind blow. Okay, now let's open it up into the straddle technique. One of the greatest things about the straddle technique is that you're not really confined to just playing up and down one octave like I showed you at first. You know, as great as that is, you can go a little lower, nice and low on the keyboard, and you've got a nice rich sound down there without having to think real hard, which is great if you're a musician. Now, one other tidbit, if I was playing full chords and not... Finally, let's jump ahead to the finished product. Let's do the same exact song again. This time, we'll use the straddle technique. Down in the valley so low, hang your head over, hear the wind blow, hear the wind blow, dear, hear the wind blow, hang your head over, hear the wind blow. I hope that inspires you. The straddle technique is pretty easy to grasp mentally. Sometimes it's hard to get your hands to make those particular movements, but you know, it all comes down to practice, doesn't it? Always does. But in the next lesson, we're going to go even further. We're going to combine a technique that we learned in a previous lesson called slash chords. Maybe you remember that. With a technique of straddles that we learned in this lesson. And when you combine slash chords and straddles on the keyboard, an amazing thing happens. All of a sudden you start hearing sevenths and ninths and 11ths and 13ths come out in your playing. These higher chord extensions are usually reserved for those students that study for years and years and years, and I hope you do. But if you have the secret of combining slash chords and straddles, you can get to these fantastic chords right away with an understanding. That's the kind of stuff I love to hand off because people just suddenly come alive to music and they really get inspired. So stick around, we're going to do some more stuff. This is David Sprunger from PlayPianoToday.com. Thanks for listening. Now you know what to do. Go practice.